Yesterday, Bitcoin dumped all the way back to below the $53,000, and we're now back at this huge horizontal support for Bitcoin on a daily time frame. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly why Bitcoin is dumping and what we can expect in the coming week. I will also talk about the two altcoins, Ethereum and Dogecoin, but about that later in the video. There's also a lot of interesting data coming into the market, and I will discuss everything with you. So watch this video all the way to the end, like the video, and let's dive right into the charts. As I was saying, on the daily time frame, Bitcoin fell below to this huge horizontal support area, and now we need to hold this support once again in order to remain a little bit more bullish than bearish. Because if we are going to see a bearish break from this huge support, then we could probably make a retest previous support as resistance, and from there we can aim for lower targets. And this of course will be a very bearish scenario. So let's see if Bitcoin can hold this level, and eventually we want to see a lot of more bullish price action in the coming week. So let's see if Bitcoin can create a little bit more of a trend reversal from here. And if we want to see a trend reversal on the daily time frame happening for Bitcoin, we need to gain this previous high, because this is the highest to gain for Bitcoin. So if we want to gain this high, we can probably make a new higher high. From there we can create a higher low, and from there we can create an even higher high. And this would indicate a trend reversal, but of course this is still a long road, and this is something that could happen in the coming months. So for now we are at this huge horizontal support, and this critical support needs to hold in order to remain a little bit more bullish for Bitcoin. And yesterday the Bitcoin ETF saw another negative day. We saw a net outflow of $170 million, so that is insane again. We see that Fidelity is selling like crazy. BlackRock didn't buy any, so this is a little bit more bearish to see. And we are now below the total cumulative inflow of $17 billion, so this is a little bit more bearish than bullish. And of course we want to see again a spike to the top side, but after a lot of bearish days we could potentially see more bullishness coming into the market. Just like we saw after these bullish consecutive days, we saw a lot of bearishness. So let's see if next week we can see a little bit of more bullish price action for Bitcoin. And yesterday Bitcoin also opened the CME gap at around the $52,858,000, and we are now seeing a little bit more spike to the top side because we saw a bounce from this support level. But for now I think that Bitcoin will trade around this level, and eventually we need to close the CME gap at the end of the weekend, because we don't want to leave any CME gaps open. So yeah, I think Bitcoin will trade around this level of $53,000. And earlier this week I was talking about this daily time frame formation, and this symmetrical triangle finally broke out to the downside. As I was saying, we saw a retest of this previous support to turn it into resistance, and from there we saw a lot of bearish movement. And I was saying that this breakdown target of this symmetrical triangle was confluent with the downside of this formation, and that will be around the $54,000, and that's exactly what we hit it. And Bitcoin came back to this target exactly, and now we are seeing a little bit of support already coming into the market. So let's see if after this breakdown target was hit, we now can probably see more topside from here. And the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index is back in the stages of extreme fear. And in stages of extreme fear, I'm always buying into the market, and in stages of greed, I'm always taking my profits. So when we are in these kind of stages, I am always buying into the market. And let me know what you think. Are you also buying more Bitcoin at these in these dips? Because I think in the long term, Bitcoin will eventually hit 100k, and we're currently around the $50,000. So that will be potentially a 2x from here. So I think that is just easy money. And I think we will be back in stages of greed again, maybe in the coming months. So buying at these stages of extreme fear is a very smart thing to do, in my opinion. And if we have another look on the daily time frame chart, we can see this huge support line on the downside. We saw multiple touch points in the past as support, and yesterday we came back to this huge support area once again. And also on the top side we see resistance coming into the market. So the price of Bitcoin is eventually getting squeezed into this apex, and this apex will be due in the end of this year. So this could potentially take another few months or weeks before we see a huge breakout. But I think if this support on the lower side holds for now, we potentially could see maybe a little bit more top side, and eventually this pattern is a bullish bias pattern, and I think we are going to see a break to the top side, a retest of the resistance to turn it into support, and from there we can see some exponential moves for Bitcoin. But of course we are still at this lower side support, and for now we are seeing a clear bounce, and that is a little bit bullish to see. So let's see if Bitcoin can come back to this top side resistance here, test it and maybe force a break to the top side, and then we could potentially aim for a new high and a trend reversal, because we want to gain this previous high and create a new higher high. And yesterday's stock market also had a very bad day. We saw 1.78 trillion wiped out from the US stock market in the first week of September. So this is very bearish, of course. And this was also dragging the price of Bitcoin down. So the stocks are seeing a negative week, and this is also very bad for crypto, of course. Another very interesting news article was coming in. Donald Trump officially announces that he will create a government efficiency commission led by Elon Musk to audit US agencies. And of course this will be bullish. So if Trump is going to be the president of the United States again, I think they will be very pro Bitcoin, and this of course would have a very bullish effect on the price of Bitcoin. So let's see if the coming months will be bullish for Bitcoin. And I think if Trump becomes president in November, then we will see a very big pump for Bitcoin. And when there's a lot of fear and panic in the market, I always like to zoom out on the charts, and I'm always looking at the weekly chart. And at this weekly chart we can see Bitcoin is still in this huge bull flag formation, and we're currently at this lower side support. So let's see if this support is going to hold once again, and if we're going to see a bounce from this level again. Because if we're going to see a break below this level, then the bull flag formation is invalidated and we need to aim for lower targets. But if we are going to see a bounce from this level and a revisit of this top side resistance, we could potentially see a break of the top side, a retest of the resistance to turn it into support, and from there we can see that exponential move to the top side, and that will create new all-time highs for Bitcoin. And I think this bull flag formation is still looking very bullish. So as I was saying, once you're in doubt, zoom out and don't panic, because I think these kind of formations are very beautiful to see still. And the first interesting altcoin I want to have a look at is Ethereum. Ethereum fell below this huge horizontal support area. So this level now needs to be painted red, because we are seeing it is going to flip into resistance again. So Ethereum dumped all the way back to this huge horizontal support area, and we are already seeing a little bit of a bounce coming into the market. So that's beautiful to see. And I'm always buying at these kind of support areas. So this green box of accumulation was a very perfect spot order for me. And I placed my limit orders here. And yesterday my limit orders got hit. So I'm buying more ETH at these kind of stages. So let's see what the coming days and weeks will bring us for Ethereum. And if we can come back to this huge resistance area. Because from this lower side support to this big first resistance area, I'm going to take some profits, and I'm going to be in profits for more than 10%. So that is a nice take profit place for me. So I want to see that Ethereum is going to break this huge resistance on the horizontal level, and that we're going to see more of a trend reversal from here, just like Bitcoin. And yesterday the Ethereum ETF saw another bearish day. We saw an outflow of total of $6 million, and we see that BlackRock is buying again, so that is beautiful to see. But they are not buying like crazy. We of course want to see those exponential moves for Ethereum, but for now the Ethereum ETF is a little bit of a flop, and I think we need to see more inflows for the Ethereum ETF, because the Ethereum ETF only costs more outflows than inflows right now. And the second altcoin I want to have a look at is Dogecoin. We can see that Dogecoin is in this huge falling wedge formation on the downside, and we can see multiple touch points on the top side as resistance, and also multiple touch points on the downside as support. And currently we are also back at this huge horizontal support level. So let's see if we can see another bounce from this huge support level for Dogecoin. And that of course will be very bullish. But for now we have to be a little bit patient. That Dogecoin is coming back to this top side resistance. But this falling wedge formation is a typical bullish biased pattern. And we want to see a break to the top side, a retest of the resistance to turn it into support. And from there we can aim for higher targets. And the breakout target of this huge falling wedge formation, if we're going to break bullish, is this top side resistance of this falling wedge formation. And that will be around the 20 cents. And this is confluent with a lot of interesting price action here in the past. So if Dogecoin can see a break of this huge falling wedge formation, we can aim for these higher targets on the top side of this formation. So for now this horizontal level is coming into play. So let's see if Dogecoin can see another bounce from this huge support level, because if we're going to see a break below this level, we have to aim for bear market lows again, and that's not what we want to see. So let me know in the comments if you still hold Dogecoin in your portfolio and what you think about the future of Doge. Please give a like if you find this video useful, follow me on my socials, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.